All right, everybody, welcome back. This is our after show. So if you're listening to this, you are a subscriber, and we can't thank you enough for being a subscriber. Here's the good thing is now with Trump being elected, I think our economy is going to go take a massive hit in the positive. And I think you're going to have more money in your pocket. You're going to have more money to spend, and tell your friends, sign up, and maybe you can give more than $3 a month. And everything you're giving, like we're putting back in Appalachia, believe you me, we're putting back in our region. So thank you for being a subscriber. For the guys who've been there from the beginning, like Brad Kennett at Loanwork Solutions. I mean, he's been a supporter. $3 a month. I know you can do better than that, though, Brad. Hey, can he? At this point in time, can he do better than $3 a month?
Oh, come on, Brad.
Come on, Brad.
Look, you didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hit you up and say, come by and do my yard this spring or summer. That didn't go down. But $3 a month. We mentioned you quite a bit on this show, and I mean, we're at 105,000 followers,
Billy,
right?
That's it, Brad.
His machines couldn't fit on your front yard. What? His machines wouldn't fit on your front yard.
Simon's right.
But he bring his whatever he does to my yard, he didn't do it. I mean,
but by the way, Brad, you're welcome.
But the years he did do it though, my yard looked phenomenal. It looks great. And I think he just does commercial stuff now. So if you're one of these big wigs, out here that are paying attention, hit up Loanwork Solutions and hit up Loanwork Solutions. Say I heard about you on the Appalachian podcast, and maybe Brad will take his tight ass from $3 a month to $4.
There you go. But make sure you got a big enough yard to make that call.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, Brad, don't have a postage stamp. Don't waste his time. Let's have some acreage. Let's make it happen.
That's what I'm saying, my big corporate buddies and stuff. So a lot of the guys are going to tune in and listen to hear Chip talk, basically.
Billy's going to come home to a big, lawnmower just loaded in his yard.
Brand new.
Yep.
Zero turn, all this kind of. My yard needs none of that. I mow it with a push mower.
You can mow it with a pair of scissors,
unfortunately, still in town. We got the farm outside of town. We will be moving there at some point in time. I plan on building at the farm. I want my kids to grow up. I want them to have that freedom and that kind of land to roam and explore and hunt on and fish on. So that's a big another part. Y'all are helping me reach my dreams too by subscribing. So, Brad, love you to death. Honestly, $3 a month can't thank you enough, but if you find it in your heart to go to $5. And also somebody else out there is Caleb Flora. He's been there since the beginning as a supporter. I know he listens to all these shows as well. So Caleb, you got a new job. You're getting a whole lot more money, and you ain't got no wives, no kids. Why don't you bump it up to $5?
He's in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, I share a bunch of his stuff on all the platforms and everything. I mean, we talk about him literally every show. I mean, I feel like we're part of the Caleb Flora legend at this point in time.
New Mexico inflation is at least $5. I mean, that's,
Absolutely. So.
See.
Yeah.
And while we're on the shaming tour as well, maybe Simon could go give his $3 a month just for the simple fact that he could be on the platform and be engaging with the rest of our subscribers. Same goes for you as well, Chip.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Same goes for Amos.
I don't know what he's talking about, Simon. Man, he is. I mean, I'd throw something at him if I could get away with it.
I'm just saying, Simon, for $10 a day, you can't go on my Patreon at this point in time.
Is he really doing this shit to us
I can't believe it.
I mean, I'm not. Look, Chip subscribes to me.
You're
on
going to suffer for
Chip,
this,
you
Billy.
do subscribe. Chip does subscribe.
Look
I'm
at
sorry.
that. Look at that.
I'm sorry, Simon. You and Amos.
Oh, the focus. Thanks, Chip.
They don't subscribe.
Chip doesn't subscribe.
He's on to you now.
Chip doesn't subscribe on X yet. We're going to have to get him to do it so Being Libertarian can be a part of our,
That's
subscriber-only spaces.
That's right.
But I do subscribe to y'all on X as well. You chose to do $1. That's your own damn fault. I did $3. Do it for Dale. So you're going to lose $2 a month. But you can be a part of my subscription base. You can make us look a little bit. We're almost up to like 15 now. That's insane. 15 people out there. Blows my mind. They want to chip in. And actually on Patreon, we're probably in the hundreds now, or close to 100 or so that we've had come in and donate. And it blows my mind that y'all actually send in money to hear me talk.
What'll really blow your mind is as it starts fluctuating. You'll start having 15, it'll go to 20, then down to 12, and then back up to 25. And you'll be like, what is going on? These people are actually listening to me and making decisions based on...
Look, I know there's thousands listening right now. This happens every week. There are about only 10% of you just came on and joined up as a subscriber every single week. You can turn this after the show into a huge deal. Like ultimately, we get the subscription base up and honestly, we're doing pretty good. The Twitter, our X ad revenue sharing right now. I take that money, I put it back in to X and getting us bigger and bigger and stuff. And that money is going to eventually get to the point where it's going to pay like, I don't have to work anymore. And I think I could be there in probably 6 months at the rate it's go. I wouldn't quit work, obviously, because, I need to get away for 3 days.
You just need to keep pitching, Kenny Wayne,
Wow.
But I think honestly, though,
he is really.
Billy, let go of the damn shovel, bro.
For our subscribers, like, it's going to turn into an event up here. We're going to get the video going. And I'm thinking about, maybe what we end up doing for the first year or so, because I've got an 8-week-old. It's a freaking house, and it's very difficult. Is maybe what we'll do is we'll just come up here 2 Saturdays a month, and we'll record 2 shows each Saturday. So we'll have the big guest in the morning, the big guest in the afternoon. Right in the middle, we got Dennis up here, maybe Buddy up here, frying up some good food, cooking us something. We have lunch, we intermingle. Maybe the 2 guests come together, maybe they don't. But, essentially we're trying to get these guys up here from maybe Thursday to Sunday. Hey, look, come up on Thursday. Enjoy the town, relax. Friday, there's a show we'll take you to. Saturday, you come on the podcast. We all hang out. Maybe in the evening after the show, we go riding, we go floating, shooting, whatever you want to do. And, it makes it easier on me and the kids and everything, and we can condense it down. But if you're a subscriber and you actually decide to give more, you'll be able to come up here for some of these shows and hang out with these people. And maybe you got a business and intertwine with them. Like, and Chip, I apologize for calling you out, saying because you are a subscriber on Patreon. But much like Brad Kennett, why don't you take your tight ass from 3 up to 5 at least? Just to make us look a little bit better.
I knew that was coming.
I'm just kidding, because Chip, honestly, and I want to say this, a couple of months ago, I think I mentioned on the last show, but maybe I forgot. Proline Trailers organized this huge drive up at Walmart to send to hurricane victims.
That's right.
All this kind of stuff. The people at Proline, I don't even know who the hell I talk to on X, but I go back and forth with them. And I shared all the stuff, got out there and shared on all the platforms. And I reached out to everybody on the, in the podcast group. And actually, John Clements, bless him, I think threw 200 down and Chip threw 100 down. I took all that money. I went and bought like 10 pizzas at Hema's to take them up there to all the volunteers. There's about 23 of them. And I got about $120, $30 worth of like supplies, water, trash bags. And Chip was a big part of that. So you don't really have to go to 5 because you threw 100 in on that. But to go to 5 would help out me, not just the people in Western. I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, Chip, big part. Thank you for that. And thank you for helping out the people. They ended up getting, I think, 2 53-foot tractor trailer worth of supplies and about $6,000, $7,000 in donations.
Wow.
And Proline Trailer right there. I mean, it's a business between Callaway and Rocky Mount right up on Grassy Hill. And if you're going to go buy a trailer, after show,
there you go.
Go buy one for them. You know what I mean? And tell them at least, hey, I heard y'all on the Appalachian, because we want to help support local businesses around here. And if you do come in and buy a trailer from them,
it's a 2-way street, Billy.
Hit me up. Hit us up and say, hey, I'm coming to town just to buy a damn trailer. We'll meet up with you at the bar and have a drink. Well, hell, come up on a Tuesday or a Saturday when we're doing a show and,
Well, I appreciate you doing that. I mean, I wouldn't have made that donation, but for you reaching out and saying, hey, I'm doing this, sort of spur of the moment. And so, it's good that you do those things and you do that often. It's not just one Saturday for you.
Well, I'll be completely honest. So like I said, in the show here tonight, it kills me. And honestly, I find myself now, sometimes I'm just driving around, maybe trying to get one of my kids asleep, or I'm going to a buddy's house or something, going through the back roads. And no matter what part of the county I'm at, I'm kind of looking around at these tiny creeks and I'm thinking, that could have been us. That could have been the people around here. And all these little tiny creeks that amount to nothing could have wiped out all these houses. Like in Boone's Mill, could have wiped out the entire town. Sure. We could have much. I mean, this could have been our community very, very easily, So I want to get down there so bad and help out. I mean, I want to be on the ground. I want to be helping people search. I want to be digging mud out of their businesses. The only reason I haven't been able to is, got an 8-week-old at the house. Mm-hmm. And I got 2 other kids and a wife to attend to. And honestly, I think it'll be a long time. They're going to need help down there for years. It's not going to be. So there's probably not much of an issue with waiting until maybe spring.
Well, their recent call has been for, the cold weather stuff. So, be cognizant of that.
Actually, right now, Nick and I are working on something about doing another drive here in Franklin County to get cold weather stuff down there to them. So kind of be paying attention on social media about that. We might do a show or a spaces about it. Like the Christian Warriors have been down there since almost day one. And Nick's going to bring maybe their guy on the show. He's a veteran. He goes into some of these zones and has been down there from the beginning, getting supplies to people and going up in the roughneck. I mean, these are apparently the pipe hitters, as Nick likes to call them, from the military that are in there getting to these people, So, I'm thinking maybe, I might do a give, send, go. I think that's a good one. Yeah, GoFundMe, the assholes who.
There's also, I don't know if it's still up and functioning, but I learned a few weeks after Helene that there is a phone line set up for taking calls, that they essentially disseminate to the, I don't know. I don't think it's the government. I'm not sure exactly what the basis is, or who set it up. But if you're interested, I can find out more. I think I've got it in my email somewhere, and what they're looking for are people that can just man the phones, for an hour or two or three or, whatever during the day, and funnel these, because it's what it is it's people calling in saying, I need help. This is what I need,
That's essentially something you can probably do from your house as well, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's designed to do, is you don't have to go anywhere. It's just from your home with an internet connection and a phone. So.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
We need to share that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll look that up and see if I can find it. May not be running still, but I'll see what I can find.
Well, the really, the silver lining in this for us is throughout this whole mess, we've come in contact and connected with a lot of people, that do have a lot of influence and a lot of stake in what's going on down there right now. And we've been sharing, their stories and sharing their stuff and vice versa. And we've, kind of made some decent enough connects out there. And we've met people like Chip through the same way, Smokey through the same way, and Smokey, I've got so much respect for him. All the shit he did, especially the first 2 or 3 weeks, coordinating, getting, stuff out there that's telling you where to donate, how to get there. Like, love that guy to death. I mean, he's on another level of an awesome dude. I hope we get big enough to the point that we can get him down here every single, Saturday, other Saturday as well, to be a part of this as well, one way, shape. Because, he's a good dude, and he's done an awful lot to help out. And I've probably met 5 just like him here since this all went down, of us kind of teaming up and tackling things and getting information out there. Because this is a new wave media. We can talk about this all day long, but, podcasting and using social media, it's the new wave media. So if we're all 5 collaborating, us and these 5 other accounts, we're getting a ton of Appalachian related stuff out there to all the Appalachians. And there's 30 million of us, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if we get the whole market, but if people in Appalachia are tuning in and figuring out ways to better themselves, that's my most important goal.
So I found it. The website is crisiscleanup.org. And apparently it's a website tool and hotline used throughout the U.S. It connects disaster survivors who need property cleanup assistance with volunteers who can help. So it sounds like they're connected to some, local organizations. So if you go to crisiscleanup.org, then you can there's a way to volunteer, and I'm sure it's on their website, but you just it's like you watch a short training video on how to do it. The hotline is open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. in your time zone. And volunteers are not required to schedule work times or fill quotas. But of course, having some sort of schedule is good. So just go there and you can watch a short training video and learn how to get connected. And then you can just jump on whenever your schedule allows.
I learned how to drive 18-wheelers off a short training video. Honest to goodness, they gave us a 30-minute video in Gate City, Virginia before we went to Iraq. And they said, all right, boys, we're going to drive these 18-wheelers from here to Virginia Beach. And they were all brand new. And about a third of them broke down between there and Virginia Beach. So you can imagine our concern with what they were going to do in the desert.
Yeah.
And they didn't disappoint, I'm just going to say. But yeah, I got to thinking about it, and like I said, it kills me about what's going on down there. It kills me what's going on to our people, because Western North Carolina is much like us, or like, us, Floyd County to an extent, Patrick County down into Galax, Hillsville, and down to Blue Ridge, essentially following the New River. Western North Carolina, maybe down in East Tennessee. I mean, we're all kind of the same. We're that Blue Ridge bunch. And, I think maybe in the spring, maybe I'll do a give, send, go or something. We'll start getting money. to provide for us for about, maybe 4 days or something. We just take a hellacious army from here. We take the Brad Kennets. We get Caleb to fly in. We take Amos, the whole German Baptist community, because they don't want to be outshined by the Amish who are down there building houses right now. So we get the electricians down there, the plumbers. We find one community and we say, we're going to go in there. We're cleaning, because you hadn't been reached yet, because it's going to be years before everybody can get reached. Just go in there and find one community, clear out all the debris, get dump trucks, dump that shit out of there, take it to the landfill. Everything cleared off, electricians in there to hook everything back up, plump, whatever we got to do. I think we can build a freaking army of Franklin County and Greater Appalachians to all come together in the spring and have a freaking brigade go down there and completely change the lives of a couple of towns. I think we have that ability. I think we have those kind of volunteers. And, we'll need donations. We need people to chip in, fuel, money to help ease it. Most of these people, if they didn't have a dime, I guarantee you they'd still go down there and do it. If we gave them this much advance, say you start figuring it out.
Yeah.
And when the Trump economy gets better, like I said, so everything y'all are doing, subscribing here helps out tremendously. Like we're putting it back towards things like that. And then when all the dust settles and maybe we can focus on enjoying ourselves again, we start doing conferences here at the Morris Hotel when the conference center opens up. We start doing, shows at the Early Inn or shows at Five Points. We're bringing in musicians. We're doing music festivals. Things we're going to bring to this area that we're going to bring libertarians. We're going to bring patriot-loving Americans. Jump on this. Tell all your friends if you're listening. Obviously, as a subscriber, you're paying. You might as well be listening. Tell all your friends. Chip in. Help out as much as you can. We can do things. We can change.
Let's see if we can do something in the spring.
Well, and especially early February, if you're going to be in the D.C. area, wait for our tickets. We can get them discounted for you for the Students for Liberty, LibertyCon conference.
You'll want to be in D.C. for that one. I've been telling a lot of people to show up. We completely Simon and Amos stole the show last year. A lot of people came towards us because they saw the Being Libertarian banner, and rightfully so, even though, we had that little mishap of night one.
I don't know what happened.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I mean, how fitting for a studio piece that Chip is now like a full-time member of the show.
I just want to say that I think your idea for getting resources connected and funds and things like that, and then taking that down in the spring to those good people, you would have our full support with the assemblies. Whatever we could do to help with that, we would love to do that and support you guys. So
yeah, I think we can figure it out. We'll get Smokey down here. Maybe we'll have a meeting of the minds. This will be Ton Tavern 2024 or 2024, whatever we got to do. We'll, with different ideals, obviously going in there to help our people. But, we all come up here, put our heads together and figure out a plan. I think we can get enough people that'll come down with enough skill.
Resources, yeah.
Let's go in there and save 2 towns in one spring. I think we can get that kind of backing. So
I think we can.
So once again, thank y'all. If you're subscribing, please consider giving more, consider giving some, anything you can to help out, just to be a part of the conversation. And like I said, go check out our buddies, Matthew Rife at Rife Technology, and the things he's doing. Simon can attest to it.
For sure.
His machine,
revolutionary stuff.
What's that?
Matthew Rife.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I knew that. Okay.
Roy Rife machine.
Yes. Yep. There's somebody that I met. Well, I didn't meet him directly, but through a seminar that we had this weekend, there was somebody on the seminar that was using a Rife machine and killing parasites. And
it does
awesome.
So much.
So it's amazing.
It's an amazing machine. Rife Technologies. Get into that holistic sound frequency wave.
And how serendipitous it is we came in contact with him is basically I was just, once again, I was on social media, going back for I see this guy's profile and I go in and look at it, I was like, Richlands, Virginia. Wow. It's my wife graduated high school. So he had a pretty big following and didn't really know the story. Hit him up, said, man, you're in my wife's hometown. He got right back with me and stuff, talked to him for a couple of months. And then we got him up here for a show. And he ended up bringing one of his Royal Rife machines. The guy's great uncle was partners with Tesla.
Yep.
Got a lot of that technology, whatever. His machines probably go $5,500 or whatever. Came up here, donated Simon one, and gave him like $1,000 to hook him up.
That's
it was amazing. I mean,
and now he's kind of a member of our team here. He's in our group chat. He bounces ideas off of us. We are building an Appalachian coalition right now of phenomenal people all up and down. And now we've got Richlands and stuff. We've got further in Russell County with Daniel Meade we had on the show back in the spring.
Yeah.
it's phenomenal what's going on. Matthew, he's a good dude. Go check out what he's doing. Spike Code at You Are the Power once again. I give them $30 a month. I might need to cut that back here because kid 3, but maybe to $10 or something. But honestly, I think going from 30 to 10, but still mentioning him every show is probably worth the difference. 100%. I mean, probably worth $20 because Spike does good work, and I'm such a good friend of the show. He hit him up for advice. He texts us back. He's going to be up there at Students for Liberty. It's going to be a good time back in February with us.
So we can come back to this if you want, because I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying, but you said Students of Liberty, and it reminded me of just that the kids in college right now, unless they're at a Liberty University or a VSU or, something like that, they're getting brainwashed. Just, the brainwashing continues. So if we actually had a discussion on this on our assembly calls last week, that we want to start reaching out to the kids in college. That would be they don't have money, but their families do. So if you connect with, none of us here, well, a couple of us may have grandkids in college or children in college,
Oh. So she looked at you first.
I do that
to Jerry, and then I went, but if
I just got busted.
If we can bring them in to this too, I mean, there's just so much that they can do, and they're so pumped up. They want a purpose. Some of them are looking for that. All of them are looking for a purpose, but being able to find that. I mean, bringing them into this effort to serve the people in Asheville, I mean, that would be awesome. And it would help open their eyes to a lot of things.
I think that's going to be, honestly, might be our big theme and our big push when we go up there, is to try and, get some people to think about coming and helping out up there as well for Students for Liberty. Now, granted, you got to understand, Students for Liberty is actually, it's an international conference. So essentially, you've got students coming around from all around the world. So we were up there last year.
Huge.
Yeah.
We were up there last year. We got to sit down, and I don't know if you're on social media or whatever, but about a year and a half ago, the based backpack kid kind of went viral, for the teacher looking at him. So we had him on the show, and his mom.
Nice.
That's a whole nother story altogether right there. I don't even want to go into, because
well, these kids they're the next generation, and they need to be taught. They need to have
Simon got us invited to the Students for Liberty in Europe, which is in Georgia, and I don't mean Atlanta.
Right.
They asked us to come out there.
As in Athens?
They asked us to come out, no, like Russia, Georgia.
Oh, sorry, Russia, yeah.
Yeah, what used to be part of the Soviet Union, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, I think we'll pass on that. But I mean, we got invited.
Russia's safe,
look,
trust me.
These guys, they stole the show. Simon's dressed like
Cornwallis.
Red coat, Cornwallis, and Amos had the Abraham Lincoln look going in the middle of DC.
Hilarious.
People everywhere coming to talk to us. It was, and I think this go around. We might not get a breakout session because I think it's narrowed down into 2 days, but we're still going to get there. We're going to have the cameras. We're going to do, we had last year. We had that kid on. We had Topher Field, who is an award-winning film director in Australia.
Oh.
He did.
That was one of the wildest shows
what's the name
done.
of his?
Great show.
It's Break in Melbourne or something.
Oh, yeah.
The name of his, or something Breaking. Yeah. Anyway, he did that, and he come on the show because he kept on snooping around the whole time, and then he just sat down, and him and Simon essentially went toe to toe drinking liquor. The Australian and the Brit, and I mean, it was. If you're listening, you're subscribing, go back and share that show. It was one of our best. Overfield was.
It was
and of course
hysterical.
Of course, we had Spike come on as well up there. Got him on a nice show. And this go round, I think Kane from the WWE, if you're, into that kind of stuff, that guy's actually one of the most libertarian mayors in the country. Knox County, he's going to be there. I think David Friedman's going to be there. Milton Friedman's son, he's a Virginia Tech graduate, or he's a professor there at some point in time. And then Daryl Davis. Now, Daryl Davis might be an interesting one. Do you know who Daryl Davis is, Simon?
No, I do.
Do you know who he is, Chip?
That name's familiar.
Daryl Davis is a black musician, maybe jazz or something like that. And he has essentially convinced like 100, 200 Klans members to derobe and not be racist anymore. And, he's been, so he's going to be up there as well. Might get him on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. But look, enough yapping about how much we appreciate y'all. I want to talk about Trump's appointments and maybe it doesn't, maybe it does or doesn't apply to what y'all were doing or trying to do, or maybe there's some lingo in there we're not missing. So feel free to maybe throw that in there if you can. But from a cultural aspect, let's go down the list real quick. I just want to hear, let's get spicy about it. Start off with number one. Chip, I can't remember his name. It's maybe Pete, but he's going to be the defense secretary.
Hesketh, yeah.
Yes.
And he's a decorated veteran. I think he was National Guard, but he's been in actual firefights, and he's going to be the National Defense Secretary. So it's going to be interesting for all of these appointments to see how they come through in terms of actually being confirmed, because that's going to show how together the Republican Party is or are not. But it sounds like they're expecting them to be all together, and that almost all of these appointments are going to be confirmed. And
this guy's not a political guy. That's the thing. Is he's a guy that goes out there in the podcast world just like us and speaks truths. But
now look at what we are getting from the corporate media. This man is being defamed.
Oh,
sure,
of course. They're going to do that to everybody.
Right?
Sure he is.
It's not working. It's not working. And because X is the new media.
Did we not go through one of the most divisive, nasty presidential campaigns where the mainstream media and the pollsters got their pants pulled down? Are we seeing any change in their approach to how they deal with reporting the news?
None at all.
Not until they are
fucking thing.
Not until they're hanging on the chopping block. No.
Let's just defund the damn lot.
Right.
Be done with it. The legacy corporate media are dead.
Well, they are. They're the only thing that's propping them up is that the same entity owns several of them together. Yeah. So
MSNBC. Key demo any given night, 60,000. That's like our age group up to Simon,
Yep.
Key demo, 60,000. Like Tim Pool, Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, Patrick Bet-David, Charlie Kirk's of the world, even Ben Shapiro's nasal little warmongering ass. They all getting they're dominating that.
They crush that
and the people that are listening, the majority, are people that are knocking on heaven's door like Simon, and they're in 10 years they're going to be gone. So their entire audience is. All their medicines are for adult diapers and Metamucil. The MSNBC's done. Done.
Why you involved me in that conversation? I've got absolutely no idea.
He kind of drug you in there by your neck.
Other than the fact that you're being a complete wanker.
Man. Good gracious.
But what do y'all think there's any significance to this guy who has essentially no political experience, but it's kind of like us, just went out there and started speaking truths on the main waves, and those podcasters are what got Trump elected essentially this go round.
How many of the nominees are like that?
Well, him.
There seems to be only one that's really establishment, and that's Marco Rubio.
Oh, okay.
Marco Rubio is the clear establishment candidate, and he's got him in there. But other than him, I can't.
Well, yeah, you got Kennedy for the Hill.
Okay.
But Kennedy's, he's not establishment.
Yeah.
Not at all. Fringe.
No, yeah.
And
so,
Fringe is being very, very conservative.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another one that would be established.
When even Donald Trump said himself, he was like, just stay away from the oil. I said, Robert, Bobby, just stay away from the oil. I'm going to put you in charge of health. You stay away. We're going to drill, baby. We're going to,
That's the third one. That's the third one in recorded history. And you're doing good.
But the Department of Defense, Pete, how do you pronounce it again?
Hedgeth.
Yeah. I like it. I think as somebody who's seen it, he's going
to
want to get people out of it. He's like, this is nonsense.
2 Bronze Stars. And 2, let me see, I believe it was Iraq and Afghanistan.
Probably with valor, both of them, I would assume.
Look, if Lloyd Austin could do that job, a blind crab could do that job.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's really going to get the guys home. That's going to save us so much money abroad. We can put that money, hopefully, back into the people. Elon Musk and Trump right now, I don't know if you saw it on X through the Doge account, the Department of Government Efficiency, and he threw out there, should we eliminate the IRS and the income tax? Elon Musk put this out on his own platforms. What do you think the resounding, comments said? Talking about stuff like that is unthinkable. And I think that moving forward, where, politics is downstream from culture. We have now captured the culture. We have said outright, we're tired of the transgender stuff. We're tired of the woke stuff. We're tired of the DEI stuff, tired of planes falling out of the sky because some dipshit is trying to, fix a plane, don't have any idea what they're doing. This is how communist Russia failed, because you had idiots like me running nuclear facilities. You know what I mean? Just because you're part of the party. We've got to get away. I think that we had a referendum on that this election. We're done with it. And even if I think the election numbers were still off. I think, honestly, if you polled every single American in this country, we win 85%.
Oh, yeah. This is just, again, my opinion, not it's worth 2 cents, right? But I think I'm looking back at Trump's first term. Everybody on his staff was establishment, right? Yeah. You keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Look at how many of those people got exposed. Okay.
Look how many of them are sticking a knife in.
That's right.
That's how.
I think Trump not winning in 2020 was the best thing that could have happened as well. Because I think they spent the last 4 years, Trump knowing he was going to win, Trump figuring out the ways to win, and spent the last 4 years, because he went in blind the first time. He didn't expect to win. So when he went in there, he was just like, oh, you donated to me here. You can. He's had 4 years to watch them.
But
he's had 4 years to watch them and observe them and watch them try and take his family down. He has put the right people into place.
Yeah, but you read The Art of War, which Trump has read, and he lives by that.
Oh,
that's why I think, and again, my opinion, I think that's why he brought those people in, because then he could expose them. You get them out. You can expose the lies. You can expose the corruption, and then y'all know that Trump. He's never left office, right? There was the
this is
continuity of government plan.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard it.
So
that's what real news and history tells you.
Yeah,
Mike King, he says that.
So, and then if you go into his second term, he's done all the cleanup work in the background, right? Rumor is, and real news is, reporting. Judy Byington, other sources are reporting that these people have been taken care of at Gitmo. And they're no longer. I mean, the people that are out in the public are actors wearing masks. Okay, so then if you fast forward to today, again, my opinion, I think Trump is bringing these people in that are not establishment. Now he's starting to show, look, I'm turning this. I'm turning this over to the people, and I don't know. Again, we don't know what the transition could look like, or if it's even going to happen. We don't know.
15 years
I think
ago,
it's bringing it to the people. You know what I'm saying? He's bringing this open. He's opening things up to the people. That's what I think is happening.
If you were, say, 15 or 20 years ago, people wearing masks, they would say you're insane. But you can go back to the early 90s. There's a woman who talks about going into the Oval Office with George Bush Sr., early 90s, with a mask on, sitting beside him the entire time, him not knowing at all until she removed her mask. I mean, she's, come out and said, so you could imagine, I mean, the door is wide open. It very well could be, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at different pictures of Joe Biden, I mean, sometimes his ears are longer, sometimes they're shorter, sometimes he's up, sometimes it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
I think with the trifecta of Trump and Elon Musk and RFK, we've got one hell of a team that's come on board here.
Well, let's talk about Elon Musk. He's not an appointed, he's not going to be a cabinet member. I guess he may be a head of the government efficiency, but he is essentially now turned into the anti-Soros family, to where now I think he's turned around and even moving. That's why I say we've captured the culture. I think in 4 years, Elon, Joe Rogan, all these people are still pushing J.D. Vance to take over and do the next 8 years. And I think Elon, between now and then, will be going in there and funding people to primary anybody who gets in the way, turning America back over, and he starts getting these prosecuting attorneys in there. He starts getting these congressmen and senators. Like, I think the culture is definitely shifting in the moral direction. And, we got to be careful they don't go too far, because, with ultimate, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure we're reining them in. But, if it's going out there to combat, the Soroses of the world who are going and just putting these absolute knobs into office, and we're getting actually decent people, America First people in there, then I think we got it for a while. I mean, who do they have? Like, masculinity is rebellious, but it's the way. It's it's what everybody is pushing towards. A good, solid, strong alpha America. So I mean, what do you think about Elon? I mean, what does he provide moving forward?
Best African immigrant this country's ever had.
100% offer for
free
speech.
Yeah,
I mean that's being contentious.
Yeah, I don't know
but
how much smoke you got left in your stash over there. But that's the reason I say mask. I don't even think it's him. Just like he's talking about the Gitmo. I think he's been taken out and replaced. He's definitely been switched. We know that. That's obvious. Because he was a Democrat, or he was the other side. He's definitely been switched.
Who's that?
Elon Musk.
Oh.
Elon Musk.
No, I don't think he's been switched. I think they just use common sense. That can make more money if the government's better. And
he's just a modern day Howard Hughes, and that's how I'll leave it. In my mind,
that guy was a genius, wasn't he?
Absolutely, and
they were scared of him. He was so smart.
Yep. So perhaps that's the analogy we can leave that with.
They had to whittle him down.
They did. He was on the edge.
So
for sure.
Back in the time, this has been around the 1920s when the Russian Tsar were murdered, when that family was murdered by the Bolsheviks. They had to come out with a campaign, and you can call it brainwashing, you can call it education, you can call it whatever. Propaganda campaign.
Yep.
to convince the people, of course, that what they did was okay, when it was, it was the cabal that murdered that family. And part of that campaign was controlled opposition, right? So, and there's a lot of pieces to it, to that campaigns like that. But they would run some sort of, newsreel for 3 weeks, and then they'd switch it up and do the opposite. And it was all about, look over here, distraction, look over here. And you can never really know which was the truth because they did such a good job. I don't distrust Elon, but I don't trust him. So, and I don't know, maybe he's one of those pieces where it's a distraction. I don't know. That's my thing.
That's a perspective.
Yeah. What do you think, Chip?
I mean, I like those Elon checks. So Elon's okay with me. I don't know that I've seen anybody with as much access as he has support freedom of speech. So I'm going to give that guy the benefit of the doubt any day of the week.
His First Amendment stance is the one that gives such credibility
when it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So I'm all about
he's smart
that.
enough to know he could have went to the dark side and rode the wave, but he knew that wave was crashing. So why not jump on a boat and keep yourself afloat for a minute, and maybe you'll make even more money. Maybe you'll get, an opportunity.
He's not dumb by any means.
No.
He's a very smart businessman.
Well, okay, let's jump to Kennedy then. Chip, this is kind of a big deal because Kennedy actually came to the LP convention. Trump, that's where you kind of maybe got a sense that there might be something going on there. But how do you like that appointment for the health department?
Well, I think he's going to shake things up, which is beautiful to see. All we've had has gotten us to where we are, which is nowhere. So, anything he does, I think is going to be great and forward thinking. So it's going to be fun to watch. We've honestly, it's overdue.
I think the problem that he's going to encounter is with the cheap food mentality,
Pharmaceuticals,
and the pharmaceuticals, obviously. The what's the big fertilizer? Monsanto. There's going to be a massive resistance there because what's going to happen is his policies, even though they are absolutely for the health benefit of the populace, I think when you implement them agriculturally, you're going to see a price differential that's going to be a real problem, and that's going to be hard to overcome.
Well, lobbyists are going to be after him.
But bugger the lobbyists. The lobbyists in that argument, they're peripheral. But when it comes to what we've got to spend for our food, that is a healthier food, is going to be a more expensive food because we've been addicted through the corruption of big ag into cheap food, which has been mass production and very unethical procedures and protocols in how we produce
and oils,
and oils and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's got, actually, even though a lot of people are thinking this is a really great appointment, and yes, I agree with them. I think it is. It's a great appointment. It needs a shake up, but the crash from the fiscal impact is going to be problematic.
Yeah, that's a huge thing because we have a country that's addicted.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You
It's
just
an
said
addiction.
addiction. Yeah, I mean, we're addicted to sugar. We're addicted to
Cheap food.
cheap food,
And that's by design, I may add.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, that's a crazy point. It is economical. It's not
purely economical.
Yeah,
and that's what it boils down to. Everything that impacts us, in this broad umbrella of policy, really doesn't give an absolute shit about how it impacts us as the man on the street.
They're also addicted to big government.
Well, absolutely.
90% of people in the country get some kind of stipend from the government.
Yeah. I mean,
That's difficult.
and that's the danger that we're in. So it's a balancing act that is going to take some very creative thought processes beyond what we have been currently using. And, let's hope the balance is agreeable to the average Joe. And if
But
we
I think
can,
if
we can
the
find
economy
that
goes
balance,
back up, you can ease it in. Economy's better. You're not paying as much for transportation. You're not paying as much for inflation, interest.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, okay, well, maybe food costs.
Like I said,
food cost goes down
it's a balancing
25% of what it was. It's gone down,
Right.
but it's also healthier. You can sell that to people. I think there's enough people out there now, because the people that really are addicted to the unhealthy stuff, I mean, those are the people in your ghettos and your trailer parks. I mean, these people on government assistance, but however you want to,
offset.
not just looking at them from a pure economic standpoint, they give nothing back. It'd probably be good if they got, not that it should be the government's decision, but for everything, you shouldn't be poisoning your population at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. That stuff is poison. Those chemicals are poisonous, essentially.
Well,
if you do away with them, I really steal people like you talked about a while ago, that'd be a big help right there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the what?
IRS.
Oh, yeah.
I really steal.
Like I said.
Good stand
Yep.
Well, what do we think about? This is a big one. This is one that's stirring up a lot of people. Is Matt Gaetz for AG? Matt Gaetz, actually, by proxy, is the Florida Appalachian congressman, and I say that because he is he holds a congressional district. I think of Walton County and Okaloosa or something, whatever it is down there, which is, Fort Walton Beach, Destin. Now, their beaches down there are sandy white. It's different than most anywhere else on the Gulf. And why are they sandy white?
Is it quartz? Is it the
sediments over the years flowing down from the Appalachian Mountains to the Appalachian River or whatever like that ended up depositing those. So those beaches are technically part of the Appalachian Mountains. So now Matt Gaetz
Oh, no.
is going to be, and this is a big one because he's on record saying, the FBI should be abolished. I think. Is that right?
That's right.
Is that right? I mean, he's went after people. He's the one that.
He's the man, ain't he?
What's that?
He's saying like the man.
And I'm pretty sure he is 100% uncorporate owned. I think he runs a 100% funded by his people campaign and things like that. Like he takes no money from, as far as I know, that's what he has claimed on Timcast is I take no money from corporations or big donors. It's all completely funded by my constituents. So he nickels and dimes.
That tells you a lot.
Well,
nickels
and
dimes.
you know where he went to law school?
William and Mary.
That's right. He's a Virginia product.
William and Mary's a very British sounding school.
Why did everybody look at you, Simon?
I can't fucking imagine.
I will say he's definitely got. I like Matt Gaetz for that. I think it'd be he's done some things in the past that I've been like, what the hell, man, are you doing? I haven't agreed with, but I think that's a good pick.
And the press are definitely in a smear campaign on him.
Oh yeah.
So hey.
you're over the target.
You're over the target for sure.
I don't know what was Rubio nominated for?
Secretary of State.
Okay. Well, I think maybe that's one of those things where, who knows, maybe Trump just says, all right, I'm going to let one of these swamp creatures in there and I'm going to do it so I can make examples out of you to let you know from, moving forward, this is how you're going to toe the line. This is our line you're going to start toe. I mean, maybe we can hope that's his thought process or something. I don't know. And I'm sure he's got a ton of other picks to make. I mean, maybe transportation secretary he still needs to do.
He just did that one today.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name either, but you want to know what the theme is for every single cabinet member he's nominated to this point in time?
Non-establishment. I mean,
well,
it's been
not only that,
Rubio.
Not only that, family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them have anywhere between 2 and 7, 8, 9 children.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
You got no single people in there, no, whatever, just all family people, all people who have a reason to see the country make a better turn. Because if you're not doing it for your kids, what the hell are you doing it for? That's why the culture's turning. The left has become the establishment, and everybody rebels against the establishment. And they also are killing and, sterilizing their voting base. So in 20 years, right now already, it's like 1.5 to 1.2 conservative but so, I mean, that number is only going to grow, and that means conservatives are still going to be outnumbering them in the next 10 to 15 years. Like it's like the culture is in our direction.
The pendulum is still swinging.
Yeah. I don't even think it's made it come back into the area it needs to be yet.
No, it hasn't, because you're just starting to get out of the woke era, and we got to get way out of that before we're even anywhere near where we should be. So, what a time to be alive!
Yeah, gosh, it's so exciting.
I mean, it's just good. For me, for my kids, knowing that now maybe they have a chance. At least the next 4 years, we can breathe. But I think a lot of times when you're not the opposition, you kind of get lackadaisical and you don't put as much fire and energy into it. You get a little complacent. We can't get complacent. We still got to hold their feet to the fire. We still got to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We can't just say, oh, well, we voted for you. Everything you do is golden. No, we still have to stand up against the things that need to be stood up against, because those things are still going to be taking place under the Trump, because they can't govern it all right now. I mean, they can get to that point, but I mean, the government is so big, it's so bloated, the tentacles run so deep. You're talking about a couple million employees right now that are going to be put on the unemployment line.
The U.S. government corporation is the largest employer in the world. There are more employees working for the United States government corporation than there are anywhere else in the world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's nuts.
Do we miss any? Do we miss any big time appointments or anything that's kind of spicy, Chip? Simon?
Yeah, good job, Billy. Edit.
I don't think so. I think you've got all the big ones. There's going to be a lot more to come out, but right now I think you covered the big ones. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys go
see
through
what the rhinos do.
How this goes through the Senate confirmation.
Well, before we get off here and end this show, I want to talk about one more thing. I think it's kind of a big one. Why don't y'all two talk about what y'all told me when I got here that was going to cause me to shit my pants? Maybe you can articulate it best for us, Chip. And
I believe so, Chip.
And how it matters and what it means.
Well, it sounds like the Trump White House is going to open up the press corps to social media influencers and podcasters. So they're basically replacing the legacy and corporate media with podcasters and social media influencers. And so, I think the folks who have been set up and sort of helped Trump get where he is are going to be well positioned to get those positions, because Trump's very loyal in that aspect.
Well, I've noticed Donald Trump Jr. shares quite a bit of being libertarian stuff, and I think they notice those kind of things. Some of his campaign managers or something also, they might even follow us. I can't recall.
Lynn Patton, that's the lady you were trying to think of earlier that follows you.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially,
I think your foot is on the door there, Chip. It's probably in the door on the threshold.
Yeah,
it's going to be
blocking.
The next 4 years are going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, they are.
So essentially, we're going to have a voice in the press corps from Chip, Matt, and hopefully I'll get to go up there and ask some questions in the name of Appalachia from time to time. I mean, if you can imagine getting up there and asking the press secretary, what are we doing to move forward to help the people out in, North Carolina, whatever the case may be at the time, whatever and it doesn't have to be just one time. I mean, can have an influence around it. So that's why, once again, if you're subscribing and you want to give a little bit more, Chip, or give any at all, Simon,
he's sneaky how he does that, isn't it? Sneaky in it.
Or Brad or Caleb or any of the rest of y'all out there that are tight assing it right now. I'm just kidding. Yeah, like things like that. You're going to help, you're helping. And by telling a friend too, say, hey man, go subscribe to these guys, just send it out to 5 people, 5 family members, whatever you can, 5 friends that you think would do it. Paying for trips for us to go up there to DC to get a spot up there, to feed ourselves and ask questions and hopefully get some, more influence and more eyes toward this region. We want people to come here and get on the show and spend 3 days in town spending money and falling in love with this area and saying, you know what, maybe I'm based enough. I'll come buy a little spot of land up here and we'll help build something. We'll grow this Appalachian network we got. And maybe if they don't do that, maybe like, well, I'm going to start bringing my team here for retreats because we can all stay at the Morris Hotel or the Early Inn. We can do some camping and some hiking, but we can do team building exercise, whatever the hell those corporate people do. But
whatever.
Yeah, but look, we get those people here.
Yep.
Those people bring their team here. So I mean, everything you're giving all your subscribers, word of mouth is the best way to do it. Tell your buddies, say, hey man, you listening to those assholes at the Appalachian Podcast? I mean, they're local, but they're regional. Tell people, send it out there. It really helps. It goes a long way. I can't wait. I can't wait to be in the White House and having
Billy.
Can you imagine?
God help us.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so speaking of the White House, you guys know that DC, rumor is again that DC, they're turning it into a museum. So the White House may or may not be used as the White House in the future.
Well, as long as I can ask questions there. And
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean,
wow.
I can do it.
Purple smoke.
I can do
I
it.
saw a puff. I just saw a puff.
Now, I used to live up in Arlington, and it's only been a couple of years now since we moved down to this area, but less than that. But as soon as, I remember the first term of Trump, everything was of course locked down, and I mean that in a good way. But then as soon as he left, I mean, the fences, there were so many fences that went up all over DC. And every time I'd go in there, and I was in there quite a bit. I worked in Arlington and I lived in Arlington, but I used to work in DC. So I knew the roads. I knew, getting in and out of there. And it was crazy. I mean, 3 layers of fencing around the Capitol building, 3 layers around the White House. You got, and then of course you saw the pictures from the White House cams of the scaffolding that went up, and rumor was, they were holding trials there, military tribunals. I don't, again, it's all conspiracy, right? I don't know, but
we really need Stuart here tonight. We're going to have to bring him back for the next week. Stuart was on the show with Jerry, I believe, the first go round, if I ain't mistaken. So, but any parting words from y'all? We'll start with you, and we'll just go around.
No, just the people are it. I mean, that's, whether it's the corporate government that is being recognized and operating, the people still, we've got the power, and whatever you feel like that work looks like for you, whatever level you want to get involved, please do. Please do.
Well, I can't top that, Simon.
Yeah, no, I'm saying engage.
There you go.
If you agree with the message, then engage.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Cool. So I expect to see you on X this week a little bit more often, engaging.
Damn,
he got you.
One platform at a time. I'm such a tard.
You're good on Facebook, though. You are good on Facebook.
Expect to see you on Patreon as well here in the very near future, but because you just need to get on there and interact with,
I know.
with Nick.
I know. I need help.
Yeah. And Caleb.
Jerry?
Okay, yeah, the people have given the mandate to Trump, and which is a Republican, so we need to keep in mind the Republic needs to be re-inhabited, and we need help to do that. It's power in the numbers, and we got to get this thing going, make our country a better place for our kids, grandkids.
Why are y'all looking at me? I don't know what to even say right now.
Beth is going to take pictures of all this.
I'm on board. I've already told him that.
Beth took some cool pictures
for,
over the years. We talked about
great
it on the
pictures.
show a bit. But.
Yeah, I'm there for any and every event they want to bring me on board with. I was there with Spike Cohen and a few other cool things.
Yeah, Crawford and Power. And
yeah.
Woodshop.
Yeah,
That big night up there. That was a
Henry
good-
Law
yeah, that was a
Moonshiner.
huge
Well,
night.
February 7th weekend in D.C. I mean,
Hey, I was wanting to go last year,
that'd
but
be a
yeah,
good-
I'm on for this year.
that'd be a
Let's
good one
make
to
it
go.
happen.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, as far as me, just appreciate anybody that's tuning in. Thank you. Hopefully, there'll be more and more of y'all listening, interacting, and becoming part of Subscriber Base because, give us a little bit more. Yeah, you come up
Yes,
here and hang out
sir.
for a show, and we'll let you throw tomatoes.
Cheech fucking Chong
We'll
over
let you
here.
throw
For real.
tomatoes. This whiskey's good.
Yeah.
Look, this whiskey's good.
This whiskey's good, man. Yeah.
Fucking Cheech.
Yes.
It's only $3.
Yeah, smile.
Anyway, thank y'all for everything. Thank you for the support. And like I said, tell your friends, give us a 5-star review on whatever app you listen to. Bite this table, go do that right now before I get off here. Before you get up from your chairs, go on whatever app you got. If you got a couple apps, go on Spotify and Apple, both 5-star review. Thank y'all so much. I don't know who we're going to have on here next. I know, like I said, Emerald Robinson has confirmed to want to come on at some point in time. We got some huge names with Chip. I don't want to release right now, but just stick around. We'll talk about them here in the very near future. Melissa Galen wants to come back on sometime in the spring. That's a fun one. We're going to have to be on our best behavior, no liquor for that one.
What?
I don't think we can do it, Simon. We didn't. Hey, look, we didn't do it last time. There was not one cuss word and not one lick of alcohol drank for that show.
I know nothing.
Yeah, you look.
We can go back and pull up the audio, but I'm pretty sure we acknowledged the fact. We said, "Wow, my goodness, we didn't say a curse word and didn't drink a lick alcohol this entire show."
Wow, that's a first.
It was out of respect. She's a nice lady, God-fearing lady.
Oh, okay.
Got you.
What?
Melissa.
Yeah. Who'd you think I was talking about?
I
didn't
had no
know.
idea.
Oh, my Lord. I thought you were.
I wasn't in on that one.
Oh, yes, you were.
The first time round, yes.
Oh, gracious.
Anyway, a lot of fun people coming up here in the near future, so stick around. We appreciate it. Caleb, Brad, love y'all. Thank y'all for being a big part of this. Give more. And we'll see y'all next time.
Later, guys.
Yeah, just give more.